And now it's time for the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Head Coaches Show with Zack Hudson. Coach, area champions 2 out of 3 years. A big win last Friday night over Jefferson, 31-7. Perhaps the story of the game could be the 17-play, 81-yard drive that took nearly 10 minutes off the clock, and that seems to be the story of your season, taking time off the clock.
Well, it is this season. It has been in the past. It's one of those back-breaking moments of a game that a team feels like they're still in the game, and then when someone hangs on to the ball for that long and then ends it with a score, it really does cause them to think, if they truly could win the game. And we've done that all year long, I think, and when we do, or we are able to accomplish that, it really does help us win the ball game on the offensive side and the defensive side. And you make them run some things they don't really want to run or don't practice, and again, we come out ahead of that.
Jaden Matthews goes down with an injury, and again, your depth shows. Andrew Griffin stepped right in and did a great job.
We do. We have some kids there that, these juniors and seniors that have played other positions in the past years. And, we try not to go both ways with, as few kids as possible, because we are fresher and we feel like we play faster without doing that. And, when Jaden goes down, his backup's Andrew, and everybody knows that. And Andrew steps in and does a great job. But just as Jaden has stepped in on defense also. So it's one of those things that you knew it was there. We knew all along. We knew all along Andrew was good. And we know all along Jaden's good. So we knew we had a backup. We didn't really want to use him because it can hurt you in the fourth quarter on defense and on offense, having to go both ways. But we're going to have to suck it up and get it done.
Talking about a great running back, Tyler Grisham last week went over the touchdown mark, now the all-time leading scorer in Howe history. You called him up as a freshman back in 2013. What did you see about him then?
Well, he has a natural way of just having a presence on the field and where to fit, and that's something you can't really teach. It's something that some people have and some people don't. But he was naturally strong. Of course, he's gotten stronger over the years, but he understood where to go and where to fit. And he played outside linebacker for us for basically 3.5 years, and so played a lot of running back as a sophomore and junior and senior. So he's just one of those kids that naturally gets it, where to go, and you can't really teach that, can't really replace that. So.
We'll take a quick time out and hear from Douglas Propane.
We had a little leak. We kept smelling, my wife and I kept smelling gas, and we walked into the house. Called my plumber, and he said, well, you need to call your propane company because they handle that. So I gave Douglas a call. They immediately sent Barry out, and Barry brought out some sophisticated little devices to check for if there was any gas in the house, and sure enough, he found 2 places. He tightened those up, which was really the plumber's responsibility anyway. He installed those. But they got that fixed up. Since then, we haven't had any problems at all. So I just enjoy doing business with them because they were here when they said they would be here, and they've done everything they said they would do. So it was a pleasure doing business with them.
Coach, your defense has played outstanding. 3 of the past 4 games put single digits or allowed single digits on the board, and that is that goes a long way in winning football games.
Well, it does. Anytime you can get off the field on 3rd down and not let them drive the field on you, it makes a big difference. But the last 2 games, I think both of them averaged over 40-something points, and we've held them to 28 and 7. So. The kids have done a great job, and ever since the Van Alstyne game, we kind of had a chip on our shoulder that we didn't really play like that, and I think everybody still remembers that night and don't want to relive that night. So, we simplified some things and put some people in spots and just said we're going to line up and beat on some people, and that's what they've done. And I thought our secondaries really improved throughout the year, which has helped tremendously, and the last couple of games we've had a lot of interceptions, and a lot of batted balls down and stuff. So anytime you can do that and be that close to receivers and make people run the football, and it really helps out.
I think a lot of people want to know how you come about the playoff location and the home team, visiting team, and how that works. There's a lot of times Howe plays a long way away, and sometimes Royce City's not that far away. How does that work?
Well, we talk as coaches, just like right now. If we were to beat Mineola, we would end up with Farmersville or Pottsboro. And so we try to find fields as coaches. We talk and say, would you agree to play here at this day? And those stadiums also have to have that opening there. Sometimes you can lock down the game if all 4 teams agree, no matter who wins, that they're going to play there. But in a situation like next week, if we end up with Pottsboro, we're not going to play in Mesquite. But Pottsboro would play in a Royce City or Mesquite if they ended up with a Mineola. So we can't really lock down a stadium, so nothing's for sure. You get on a list on some of these stadiums. You might be 5th on the list, but you might be the one getting it also. So it's one of those deals. It's kind of fun. It's kind of a chess match sometimes. But most of the coaches, I would say 95% of the coaches, we're all pretty, not trying to, get one over on each other. And we're trying to make sure that everybody's fair in the whole thing and try to find a happy medium between the two so fans don't have to travel so far. And, the Lindale game, that's really the only place between us. We wanted to play on Friday night. I thought that was our best chance of winning. So Pottsboro was playing in Rains, which was about the only one that was closer to us, and Lindale was a little closer to them. And Lindale was a stadium that was open, and so some of these other stadiums that people play at, they might be in the playoffs. And a lot of times, I know like Rockwall and Van and people like that, if they're in the playoffs, they don't host. And so sometimes you pass stadiums that are pretty nice, and you ask why we don't play there. Well, if they're in the playoffs, they're not hosting. And so it's a big chess match, and it takes a while. It's probably about 5 hours a week trying to figure all of it out and the logistics of it. But it always works out. And the head coaches, we try to work together and make sure that, our fans have, equal opportunities to make it to games and stuff like that.
Mineola tonight, regional championship round, first time since Wascom 2 years ago. Once you get into this round, everybody's really good. Mineola is really good. And talk about them and what kind of expectations you see tonight for them.
Well, they have a lot of seasoned kids. 2 years ago they played in the state championship with a lot of sophomores, and now they're seniors. A year ago they played Brock in the semifinals, lost to Brock, who eventually won the state championship, and they were all juniors. Now they've lost some kids along the way, 2 Division I kids along the way. So it's not that it's the same team, but they have a lot of seasoned kids that have been there and done that. It's one of those games that it's kind of like a Grandview. We're going to have to play, and if you make one mistake, they're gonna get you on it, and you have to be perfect, and so do they. They can't make a mistake with us running slot T, but we can't make a mistake on their quarterback and the way he runs it. So, we all have to play perfect, and we got to hang on to the football and keep the ball out of the other team's hands. But they don't get in a lot of third down situations. You need to stop on first and second down and make them get into something that they don't want to do, but they're not used to doing. They're not used to third and longs and third and medium. So defensively, we got to do that. But offensively, we have to do what we do. And if we struggle doing that, we're going to struggle. But we're going to have to punt the ball. They're going to have to punt the ball. There's special teams going to play a big part of this. Make sure nothing funny happens and things like that. So it'll be an interesting game, and it'll be a great night, and all of us looking forward to it, and I know they are too.
You've been listening to the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Zack Hudson.